The Railroad Boogeyman. I was 12 years old. I always loved to explore areas of the unknown, the darker bits where many other kids were too scared to go. Last year, some of my friends dared me to go into an abandoned mental hospital because they claimed it was haunted. It wasn't. My name is Jessica. One day at school, me and some friends were eating lunch and they got me hooked on an old railroad track that everyone was talking about. Some say that some escaped murderers would use the tracks to disappear from the police and snatch up anyone who dared to come near. I laughed at the enthusiasm that John showed as fear poured onto his face like rain over a window. But as my chuckle came into an end, I couldn't help notice how nervous I was. This was new to me, in a way I could not explain. But I had to play it tough in front of my many fans, or at least that's what I call them inside my head. Somehow, through all the anarchy, I volunteered myself to be the guinea pig to this experiment to keep my friends entertained. The plan was for me, John, and Megan to meet at her house at 7 sharp as the sun went down and sneak into the cover of night. When I got there, I could see John nervously flag me into Megan's treehouse. I obeyed and entered. Here was the plan. We each had walkie-talkies and I had a flashlight and a butter knife from the kitchen. Seriously? John would follow and record with his phone as Megan waited at the entrance. We walked out of the neighborhood down to a small, wooded, quiet area where we reached the Erie Railroad tracks. It was old and abandoned. Old moss and vines trickled down the tunnel entrance as if danger was welcoming us to utter defeat. We stared at the entrance for what seemed like hours, blood cold as ice from the fear of what might happen to 3 bone-headed kids. Finally, I built the courage to enter. It was damp. Inside and got colder as we got deeper and was almost impossible to see inside. After about a few minutes of walking, we heard a large thump. Ahead of us, John makes the conclusion that it's an escaped prisoner and that he would kill us. I had to calm him down. His fear was encouraging mine. I was filled with so much terror. I had tears in my eyes. I didn't do much talking because my mouth was about to scream from panic. Maybe this was a bad idea, but then we saw it. It must have been a man or a humanoid being standing before us making a silhouette from the dim light from the other entrance. He seemed as if he was stood about 8 feet tall and didn't move. He was stocky and his face was covered with hair. All we could hear was this dog-like gurgle. John says that we should run, but from the looks of it, as soon as we turned around, he could catch us. The man begins to walk, and we were so frozen with fear, we couldn't move. He lets out a panicking scream. We both turned around as we ran. I turn, and this demon is right on our heels, grunting and growling. Reaching for us, and oh my God, he grabbed John and he yelled in panic, calling me for help. I cried like a baby and screamed as a giant tore him to pieces. By then I was near the entrance and called Megan, and she called me on the walkie-talkie asking what happened. I just turned and ran, grabbed her by the hand and dragged her back to her treehouse. We heard John screaming all the while, and we heard him all the way home. It was terrifying. Our parents called the police, and they searched the whole entire area, only to find nothing. Only to find nothing. I never explored anymore. I gave it up to pay my respects to my friend John. One day I decided to take a walk past the old tunnel, and there was John's shoe.